For question 2, we're given a question about particle p, and we're told its acceleration along the positive x-axis. So this isn't using vectors, this is just using standard differentiation and integration. So we get given acceleration, and if we skim down to the end of the question, it asks us about the velocity of p. So we need to try and turn acceleration into velocity using integration. So we get given the acceleration here. Notice it says it's in the positive x direction, so you don't need to add a minus or anything for it going backwards. And we're told that at t equals 0, the velocity is 2. So this gives us enough information. We've got our acceleration, we've got our initial conditions, so we can integrate this to find velocity. So we get v equals the integral of a dt, and this is just one of our standard results for kinematics. So we get v equals the integral of 3t plus 5 dt. Now this is just one of the standard year 1 integrals, so we get 3t squared over 2 plus 5t plus c, and this is our velocity equation. We can use our initial conditions up here to eliminate our plus c and get an actual expression for velocity. So if we sub it in, we get 2 equals 3 times 0 squared over 2 plus 5 times 0 plus c, and this will give us that c equals 2. Because this is 0 and this is 0, so we get 2 equals c. This gives us a final equation for velocity for v equals, so we've got this with our plus 2 on the end. So we have 3 over 2 t squared plus 5t plus 2. So we've found an expression for velocity. If we look back at the question, we're told that at t equals t, the velocity is 6. So we're going to substitute in 6 here, t here, and solve the quadratic that we get. So we can write this as 6 equals 3 over 2 t squared plus 5t plus 2, which will simplify nicely. I'm going to bring it all over to this side. So I'm going to have 0 equals, so I'm going to subtract 6 from here. So we get 3 over 2 t squared plus 5t minus 4. So we get that. We now have a couple of options. We could put this in a calculator, we could try and factorize it. I'm going to multiply through by this 2 and try and factorize it. So we get 0 is 3t squared plus 10t minus 8. And we're going to try and factorize this. So this factorizes into 3t minus 2 and t plus 4 equals 0. So we get t equals 2/3 or minus 4. You can get exactly the same information using a calculator. The only thing you won't get on your calculator is if you've made a mistake up here. Let's say I'd done c equals 3 by mistake, I'd be solving the wrong quadratic and I wouldn't be showing a method, so you run the risk of losing method marks for solving this quadratic as well if you've made a mistake somewhere else. But if you show your factorization, you'll at least get a method mark, and hopefully we get the right answers as well. What we need to do now is identify the correct answer from this. We get told at the very start of the question, I've written it down here as a reminder, but it's also in the question, that we're only interested in positive values of t. So our final answer for this is t equals 2 over 3. We need to somewhere note that this is not correct as t is greater than or equal to 0. So we're disqualifying this solution because it's not in the domain of our function. So our final answer looks like this. We've got rid of this one here, we've given a reason, and we've written our final answer as t equals 2 over 3.